if you're somebody who struggles with things are always very hard, it's probably because you don't have the discipline as a foundation for the things you're trying to do. And as the famous mystic or healer Will Smith said, self-discipline is self-love. And when you do the things you need to do or you want to do, you just end up feeling better about yourself. So today I wanted to talk to you more about my disciplinary habits. Welcome to episode 4 of the Dr. Chris Stepien Show, where my mission is to help people who are suffering and the doctors and therapists and healers who are committed to doing something about it. Today, I want to talk to you about how to make things easier by developing your discipline muscle. I remember seeing people that I respect on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and they would talk about having all of this success and all of these people helped and all of this millions of dollars, and it just seems so easy. And I always ask myself, why is it so hard for me? Until I really developed my discipline muscle, and then I realized it was because I hadn't been doing the foundational things in order to make things easier for myself. I want to go back in time to when my parents just got divorced when I was around 9 or 10 years old, and I lived with my mother for about 11 months. Then I moved with my dad, and I was 12 years old when I was in 7th grade, and I wasn't the happiest child. And I remember going into middle school, and then I very quickly found the weight room after school. And so every single day I would go to the weight room after school, and I would either walk or take the late bus home. And I look at that time as when I really developed my discipline muscle, because I really think that the gym and fitness saved my life. And if it wasn't for the fitness and gym, I wouldn't have had an outlet to work out my anger and my rage and the things I was holding in, because I felt guilty and I was the mistake or the reason why my parents got divorced. So I really credit working out and then football for saving my life. But I didn't always have this discipline. I also had a really good friend in 7th grade. His name was Zach, and we hung out a lot together. We were kind of the kids who stayed on the corners. We both got bullied. We stayed in the side of the room, and he didn't work out with me in the gym. But when it came time to play football in 10th grade, we both went to training camp, which was hard. I was on a very physical high school football team at West Essex High School in North Caldwell, New Jersey. And I remember about 2 weeks in, Zach quit. And why that's interesting to me, I played football through high school, I played football through college. Fitness in the gym has always served me. Several years ago, I had found out I had grown apart from Zach after about 9th or 10th grade when after he quit football. I had found out that he became addicted to heroin. He was responsible for his son. For some reason, his partner, his son's mother, was not in the picture anymore. He was addicted to heroin. He died from a heroin overdose. And his son was basically parentless. And reflecting over that situation, obviously he was in a lot of pain to resort to using heroin. But if he had developed a discipline muscle like I had when we were in adolescence, we were in middle school and high school, maybe he would never have been addicted to heroin. Maybe he would have been able to do things because he had that foundational skill set of using discipline to get what he wants. But I didn't always have this discipline muscle. I owned a CrossFit gym from 2012 to 2017. I hurt myself really bad doing deadlifts early one morning. I herniated a disc in my low back, and I also tore my hip labrum at another time as well. I couldn't work out for a couple of years, and what do I do when I can't do the thing that I've done all my life in order to deal with my mental health issues, which is to work out? So right before my first son was born, Bear, I remember Katie, my partner, being pregnant, and I was smoking a lot of pot and playing League of Legends. I love me some video games, and I love also playing video games while high. It's a really fun thing to do, and I'll probably do it again someday. But while Katie was pregnant, I remember having the thought, what kind of father am I being if I'm allowing my pregnant partner to go through her pregnancy like this? And what type of pattern am I showing my son if this is who I'm being? And soon after that, I started meditating a lot. 30 minutes, 60 minutes a day. And as I started doing isolation exercises for my body and building my body back up, ultimately I could go back to working out a pretty decent amount, that I could get those endorphins out and resume the disciplinary habit that I had started in 7th grade to get my discipline back. So I didn't always have the discipline. I lost it, and I realized that things became really hard when I lost it. And then when I got the discipline back, things became much easier again. discipline. So if you're somebody who struggles with things are always very hard, it's probably because you don't have the discipline as a foundation for the things you're trying to do. And as the famous mystic or healer Will Smith said, self-discipline is self-love. And when you do the things you need to do or you want to do, you just end up feeling better about yourself. So today I wanted to talk to you more about my disciplinary habits. Today I woke up around 4:20 or 4:38 in the morning. I like waking up at 4:20 in the morning because when I was smoking a lot of pot, there's an association with 4:20 with smoking cannabis, and I wanted it to be associated with something more positive for me. I'm not saying that cannabis is bad. Cannabis works for a lot of people, and I probably will resume smoking cannabis at some point in my life. It's just not working for me right now, but I like that 4:20 is associated with my wake up time. I'm not somebody who is tied to my wake up time. I am more committed to sleeping 8 hours, so I typically go to bed between 8 and 8:30 p.m. when my sons go to bed, and if for some reason I'm up at 9:30, 10 p.m., I will reset my alarm clock for 8 hours right before I'm about to fall asleep so that I get about 8 hours of sleep. I just do better when I get 8 hours. Then I'll typically meditate for an hour to an hour and a half. It's usually a Joe Dispenza meditation, or I'll meditate in silence, or I'll put on some Calm Whale on YouTube, which I really like that music, and just meditate and go inside that way. Then I'll go into the infrared light in the bathroom and I'll do some shaking that I learned through Mike Chang on Instagram. Some shaking, tapping, getting my body to feel awake. I really like it. My body feels better. Then I'll do a bunch of isolation exercises that help my aches and pains so that I feel better. My glutes, my hamstrings, my shoulder external rotators, my core, get all those up to speed. Since it's currently October 31st, I usually start going in the cold water around mid-September so I can get acclimated to the cold water by December or January when it's really cold. So I'll go in the cold water and then I'll take a shower. I'll do some gratitude journaling and then I'll immediately get to work before the kids and Katie wake up so I can get some work done. Then once the kids are off to school, I like to go to the gym if my body is feeling well. So I'll go to the gym, go in the sauna, and then I'll come back and shower again, and then I'm off to work for the rest of the day. Then around when I get home, 6:30 p.m., let's say, I'll have dinner really quickly. Then I'll spend 30 to 60 minutes with Katie and the kids. If I have space, if I'm not putting the boys down myself to bed, then I'll meditate for 15 to 30 minutes before I go to bed and do it all over again. What you'll notice that I've taken away pretty much hanging with friends. I've taken away any drugs or substances because I really like to do a lot of different types of mind-altering substances. I'm not watching Netflix or TV. My day is all about work, self-care, and family. And that's not to say that I'm not going to hang out with friends or I'm not going to do a ceremony here or there. Actually, today I did microdose some mushrooms because I'm noticing that I wanted to be more neuroprotective for my brain. But I'm not really spending much time on recreational stuff because I have things that I want to do. I have goals that are really important to me. Those goals are more important than recreational stuff like watching Netflix or having fun. And I do need to have some more fun in my life and have it be more balanced, but not at the expense of going after my goals and the things I want to do. I noticed that when I'm more disciplined, I go after my goals and I achieve them with more aggression than when I'm not disciplined. Things become harder when I'm not doing the disciplined things that I need to be doing on a daily basis. My challenge to you today is to develop your disciplinary routine. I didn't just go from nothing to 100 miles per hour with my discipline routine. I built this over time and I added things that seemed like it were working, and I took away things that seemed like they weren't working. So what do you need to do to start developing your disciplinary routine? I recommend that you try to wake up at the same time each morning. You go to bed at the same time each night. You know when you're exercising. You know when you're meditating. If you're doing breath work, sauna, cold immersion, gratitude journaling, whatever you're doing, this all needs to be structured in place. And I guarantee you that if you do this for a few weeks, you're going to feel so much better about yourself. And when you feel really good about yourself because you're maintaining your integrity, you're maintaining the promises that you want to keep to yourself, you're going to go after your goals with reckless abandon, your dreams with reckless abandon, and things are going to start to become more possible and true for you as you develop your disciplined muscle. So share this episode with a friend, go after your disciplinary routine together and support each other and hold each other accountable, and let me know in the comments or send me an email or a DM on Instagram with how it's going. And I'm excited to build an awesome future with you because people are suffering, and without us doctors, therapists, and healers to do something about it, they will continue to suffer.